Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin continues to hold support and we're going to take a look at that on the chart and how likely it might be to drop now lower. And overall, the performance in the market is waiting. I think they're waiting for Bitcoin to make a decision. But as it usually is the case, when Bitcoin is going up and moving sideways, we see altcoins flourish. What is happening at the moment, Bitcoin is going down and moving now sideways a little bit, consolidating, and that leads many altcoins to sell off a little bit more. Okay, so but very importantly, let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. We are soon going to enter May, and there's an old saying, sell in May, go away. So people expect at the moment a further drop in May that would be in line with my primary expectation here on the chart, that we are going to go down lower and we are going to end the correction in this yellow target area. We're waiting for that capitulation in the market. Showed you yesterday a few other not Elliott Wave related points why that could be the case. But I also need to say that the sell-in may go away and then go back in September, as it has been historically often promoted by many people, and there are strategies around it, but I don't really believe in it. I mean, yes, we might see a drop in May, of course, but historically also, because that saying obviously comes from the stock market, historically we have seen price increases in average from May to September. So where that strategy suggests you take a break and you take your money out in May and you enjoy the summer and you go back in September, that would not have benefited investors, because historically also the performance overall between May and September was positive. It was weaker, or it is weaker than between September and April, or October and April, but still there is a positive performance. And if you exit in May and you go back in September, in average you would have lost out on on price appreciation, right? So just as a note, just these things don't always work out anyway, and I don't like to time the market necessarily, because timing is always bit of a problem. A lot of people asking as well in the comments, when is this happening, when is that happening? Now I can't tell you that. Everything I tell you around that is only a guess, and I'm very honest about that, because it is just so hard to time the market, and it often is impossible. The only time when I think it is fairly reliable is when you have crazy price increases of a certain asset, of a certain cryptocurrency. For example, last example was Silica. Yeah, we had the 2nd of April event, I think that was in Miami. The price did go up before that like crazy. I told you after the 2nd of May we're probably seeing a retracement, a strong correction, and we've seen a 50% correction as expected on the 2nd of May, as on the 2nd of April, because it is the buy the rumor, sell the news. So it's not only Silica, there have been various examples, including Cardano and the last hard fork, and there's so many events going on, and then you usually see that cryptocurrency pump before the event. Not always, but if you see that pump, then you can be fairly it's fairly clear that after that event we usually see a dip. It is just that buy the rumor, sell the news. That is the only time when I find it's really good and easy to, well, not easy, but yeah, probably likely and possible to time the market. But yeah, what do we see here currently on the Bitcoin chart? Well, as you know, we've now exited that channel here a few times here on the Bitcoin chart, and I'm now on the daily chart, and you can see that we left that channel 1, 2, and 3 times, and this is now the 4th time that we have exited that channel to the downside. And if I zoom out again, you can see that this actually looks like a bearish flag. So you had your flagpole and the actual flag, and that could break out bearish, and that would support my price target here of the yellow target area of 20 to 29k, which is related to Fibonacci levels and mainly the Elliott Wave method, the Elliott Wave count. However, we are now out of that channel for the 4th time. So the last time, we see these get increasingly stronger. So here we left it a little bit, here we left it a little bit longer, or the wick was at least stronger. Yeah, when we hit 34.5k, then here we exited, and only on the next day we managed to get back in. Yeah, so the daily candle closed below it. Now you could argue, if I move that line a little bit, that we probably didn't exit, but actually I can't move it, because it doesn't really add up. And as always, it's a bit subjective. There are different ways of how you can draw it. So I could draw it like that just to use the candle body here. Then you can see that, yeah, we did not retest it. We entered the next day. Could even draw it like that here on the daily and not use the wicks. So if I do that, where are we? Then even then we have now exited the channel. So there's different ways of drawing it, yeah. Maybe that is even the most accurate one, which actually suggests that the 3 times before, or even if I do it like that, we had a 4th time before, then those were only the wicks. And here as well, it was only the wicks the very last time on the 18th of April. But now, well, no, yesterday probably was also the wick. And today is again a candle where we have exited and closed below the channel. And again, I probably need to raise it a little bit, because if we want to be accurate, we just need to do it properly. There you go. Here you can see, no, it shows that yesterday we did actually exit the channel and close the price below it. In this, if I draw the channel like that, it was the first time that we closed the candle below the channel. And today we have not yet got back in there. Actually, it's looking a little bit like we retested it today. So let's take a look on the 4-hour chart. Here on the 4-hour, it looks like we retested that former support as resistance, and that is quite bearish, however, until we break below the previous, that support here that you have on the channel and to which the price seems to be reacting. Here 39.2, 39.3, that previous low. Until that really breaks, I think we are not going to see that downtrend. We are still here sort of in a consolidation. But we are in a key decision moment now, yeah. So this is very exciting. I think it might be an interesting weekend, hopefully, because hopefully we see a decision here soon. Hope it will be more interesting than the sort of boring Easter weekend where we didn't really see a lot of movement. However, you can see here we also came down very impulsively. We've got pretty much, we're forming here a bearish flag, and that could break out, but only if we manage to break out below 39.2k, only then. Until then, we still have possibilities here to go back into the channel and move higher, and that break in point, yeah, would be at 39.9k. So it will be a very interesting day, very interesting weekend, I think. Here's now the decision moment where we're gonna head in the next few days and maybe even weeks. So very interesting. We are spending quite a lot of time now outside of the channel, but we are not yet able to break below the previous swing low. As I showed you in previous videos, there are various there's a lot of historical buying value or buying volume in that area, and I can add the VPVR to the channel. And if I zoom out a little bit, it gets a bit more obvious. Need to make that like that. Zoom in a little bit. Zoom in a little bit more. There you go. And here you can see all the historical buying volume. So that provides a lot of support, pretty much around the 39k mark. So yeah, maybe we even need to break 39 to really get going and drop, but most imminently it is that 39.2k level. And I think when we really here on the daily as well are retesting that previous support as resistance, that is it, and then we could really drop down lower. At the moment we are still sort of here in a range, and on the daily as well, yeah. But what is very interesting is that here on the MACD we've now seen that potential bullish crossover which could be coming, that has been avoided. I warned about that previously. I said, well, that is coming, but it seems to be flattening out now. And yeah, you can see now how we see the darker red bars now for a couple of days now. So that is not bullish. If that happens, if such a bullish crossover is avoided, that points rather to the opposite. And we are still here on the daily RSI in the bearish range as well, below 50. And here on the 4-hour, we still have a bit of decreasing momentum, decreasing negative momentum, but the daily is of course more relevant, and it's not really going up very fast. So let's see. I think the market now needs to decide in which direction. We've got here very, very clearly defined and very narrow sitting support and resistance levels, and this is now where we are going to see here the next decision play out. 39.2, 39.3, I can even move it here to 39.2, or here to the upside 39.9. What is more likely? Impossible to say in the short term. There's so much short-term volatility. My guess would be that we are, it's so hard to say. No, it would be just a guess, right? It would be just a guess. But because it's looking like that this could have already been the wave 2 here, yeah, it is absolutely likely that we can drop here to the downside straight away. But again, only if we drop below 39.2. Yeah, we've just seen a lot of volatility here, and because of the buying volume and the historical volume around that area, it is really a hard level to get through. But therefore, if the price and if the bears can push it through that level, that will accelerate the downtrend. I think we can get very quickly to 34.5K, that previous support here. So that is currently my view about Bitcoin. Yeah, hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.